Hello, Mary.
Hi, how are you?
I'm doing wonderful. Thank you for asking, and thank you for coming here on the podcast. It's really hard sometimes to find models that have shot for us in the past, and I was lucky somehow I was able to find you on social media, and I reached out, and surprisingly, you replied right away. So again, thank you for taking the time to come on here and chit chat a little bit.
Yes, thank you for having me.
Oh, it is my pleasure. So now you shot back in around 2018 because the scene was released in August, I think, of 2019. So, but I remember it was shot more back towards 2018. Now, do you remember anything about this shoot?
Yes, I actually do. I I was I went to the place. I arrived there. At first, I was so shy. I didn't know what to do, and so, but then the foreigner was so nice, and yeah, I mean, it was a lot of fun. I had so much fun about the shoot.
Oh, that's great to hear. Yeah, it's that's what it's all about here on here at TrikePatrol.com. It's all about having fun, giving our fans a nice, pleasant experience while they spectate or watch or do whatever with our content. So that's very good to hear that you had a good time. And yeah, a lot of the guys out in the PI that are some of our patrolmen or most of our, I mean, our patrolmen are really nice guys. That's the only kind of folks that we deal with. If you're not having fun, you're not doing it right. I always say. So again, that was really good to
Yeah.
hear. So during that time, 2018, early 2019, what were you doing around that time in life?
I was actually a car model. I go to car shows during the weekend, and yeah, I was going to school at that time actually.
Oh, okay. Now, what were you taking?
I was getting my degree in nursing.
Oh, yeah. I mean, that's very common with Filipinas or
Yes.
Filipinos. Very, very common, actually. So,
Yeah.
yeah, that's pretty cool. And if you don't mind me asking, and I hope it, I mean, did you graduate?
I actually did. I actually graduated the next year
Oh,
after the shoot. Yes.
oh, nice! Congrats, and that's really good to hear. That's
Thank you.
that's really really good to hear actually. That one of our models that were featured here on Trike Patrol, got through college, got a nice degree, and are you working as a nurse right now?
Yes, I am. I am a full-time nurse here in Canada.
Oh, Canada, huh?
Yes, Canada.
Oh, oh, nice. What part of Canada?
Vancouver, Canada.
Oh, like yeah, that's a beautiful place. I love Vancouver. I was there a couple times. I've been there. Just very beautiful. Love the
Yes.
place. It gets a little cold there, I would say, huh?
Yes, it is very cold during the winter. It's really, really cold.
Yeah,
Freezing.
it's something that Filipinas aren't very accustomed to or very used to, right? It's kind of hard to
Yeah.
adapt to.
Yes, it's very hard to adapt because I'm not used to it. Because in the Philippines, it's hot, but then when I came here, it's like I came here during the winter time, so it's like it's really freezing and cold, and I'm not used to it. But yeah.
Oh well, yeah. Well, that's really cool. That's nice to hear that you got your college degree. You're working full time as a nurse, and if you don't mind me asking, how did you end up in Canada?
After a year I graduated, I met this foreigner in the Philippines. And then so after we met, we talked, we met in the Philippines. He brought me here to Canada.
Oh,
So I moved here. Yeah, he brought me to the Canada, and then yeah, living the life in Canada.
oh well, that's great. You know, as a nurse, I'm pretty sure the salary of a nurse is a lot more in Canada compared to the Philippines. So that's cool. And I'm pretty sure you're able to make a lot more money than what you would have made in the Philippines, and and provide for. Did you leave any family back in the Philippines or anything? Don't mind me
Yes,
asking.
I still have family back there. You
Uh-huh.
know, we still keep in touch. You know, we video chat all the time. You know, my sister, my brothers, they still live in the Philippines. But then I never went back since my husband brought me here in Canada.
Oh, and I'm pretty sure that has a lot to do with the pandemic, right?
Yes, it's very hard to go back since, the pandemic started. It's really hard to go back. You know, you have to quarantine and all that stuff.
Yeah, and I'm pretty sure. Yeah, not just that, the airfare is really high, and I mean, and we get, and you said you're a nurse, and you said you're working full time, right?
Yes, I am a full-time nurse.
Now, you were working as a full time nurse during this whole pandemic from the beginning up until now.
Yes, I've worked a lot of hours because, the shortage of nurses, they can't really find nobody. So, I just work. They call me all the time, and then I just work throughout the pandemic
Oh
since,
yeah.
I mean, until then, until now.
Oh yeah, I'm sure. Even before the pandemic, I know a lot of nurses myself, and they work long hours. Most of the time they're working 12-hour shifts. So I can only imagine with the pandemic and the shortage of nurses and just the extra amount of patients that you guys had to take care of. I can only imagine how much hours you put in. So that's, I mean, in a way, that's a good thing because I'm pretty sure you're able to put a lot of money aside or whatever, not to get into your personal finances, whatever, but that, it was extra money, I'm sure, right?
Oh yeah, there's extra monies, just saving it, just in case if me and my husband go back to the Philippines, at least we have something, saved up.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, for sure, for sure. Now, living in Canada, I mean, do you miss the Philippines?
I do miss the Philippines. I mean, like I said, I want to go back. It's because, I still have family there, but it's really fun in the Philippines, and I do want to go back.
Oh yeah, you ain't got to tell us. We're trikepatrol.com, so we know exactly what you're talking about.
Yeah.
It is a lot of fun in the Philippines, and it's something very special. It's something very unique that you just can't find anywhere else. And those of us that have been able to experience the Philippines in life, I would say are very, very lucky because, like I said, there's nothing like it. So,
Right.
I know what you're talking about, even as a Filipina, somebody that, I'm sure, you get a little homesick and all. Now, I'm sure there's a lot of Filipinos there, right? Actually, I know there's a lot of Filipinos there. Do you mingle with them or have you been hanging out with, I mean, do you socialize a little bit?
Yes, I actually work with a lot of Filipinos where I worked, and I have a lot of Filipino friends. We go out, we go to Jollibee because we have Jollibee here in Canada.
Oh, yeah,
We
Jollibee.
have
I like a little
Chowking and
Jollibee.
all that. Yeah. So I'll call them and I'll say, hey, let's go to Jollibee and let's hang out. Just trying to have fun and hang out with my Filipino friends.
Oh yeah, I'm pretty sure that kind of eases the homesickness. Just being able to hang out with your fellow Filipinos, and I know, like I'm here in California, so like major cities. It's funny because I was talking about this exact topic with one of our guys, Mark, just not what was it last week, and we talked about how when Filipinos, go abroad, they stick together. And
Yes.
that could be even in Milan, Italy. It could be in Sydney. There's always going to be a community of Filipinos that stick together, and they just, they really help one another, and that's the Filipino culture. Um,
Yeah.
they like to help one another. They stick together. It's a beautiful culture,
Right.
and
Yes.
it's a really beautiful thing. Now, so what do you guys do out in Vancouver? I mean, I know you probably work so much you don't have too much time on your hands, but I mean, is there nightlife? Are you even into that?
Not really because
Not
I
your
do
thing?
work at yeah, I do work at nighttime because my husband works and during the daytime, so I do work at nighttime. But then on the daytime, once I go home from work, I go to sleep, take a nap, and do my thing as a wife. Clean the house while husband is away and working.
Okay, okay. And you know, did you end up settling down, having any kids, or I mean, if you don't mind me asking, if I ask anything personal, feel free. You know, I know we talked a little bit before this, and you said just ask away. So just if there's anything that I asked that's a little too personal, just let me know, and we'll edit it out.
No, it's okay. No, it's just me and my husband. No kids. You
Okay,
know.
okay. So you guys got a little bit of time for one another still.
Yes, yes.
Now I am curious. I'm only guessing he knows that you were on TrikePatrol.com. One is because well you're talking to me right now, and you answered right away. So does he know?
Yes, my husband knows about it. I told him about it when we were started dating, and I just don't want him to find out from someone else, or I don't want him to find out later on that I did shoot a video for Trike Patrol. So yes, he knew about it and he respect that. It's nothing really bad. The video is not bad at all. It's just it was just having fun.
Exactly, and that's what I was saying earlier. It's like if 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 the model went on set, shot the video, had fun. Same for the male talent. If everyone had fun, we did our job. And if people are enjoying it, we did our job. That's what it's all about here at TrikePatrol.com. It's all about just having fun, being respectful
Yes.
to one another and just enjoying yourselves. So, and so how did you react to it? I mean, did you guys, if you don't mind me asking, do you guys watch the video sometimes?
We do. He react. He was kind of shocked, but like I said, it was just having fun. But at the same time, he he was shocked, and
Kind of like, fuck it. Like, well, it is
like,
what it is,
yeah,
right?
like, yeah, it is what it is. It's already there. I mean, what else can he do? It's like that.
Yeah. And if uh, you guys weren't together, you told him up front.
Yes.
And
Yes.
so it's like, yeah, you're right. It's like the last thing you wanted to happen is for some reason you don't want this video to be known, and he finds out 5 years later, and he's like, what the fuck, So
Yeah.
that's cool that you let him know, and and again, there was no reason not to. I mean, again,
Right.
just let him know he doesn't find out later down the road. And it's like it was a beautiful video. I mean,
Right.
there's nothing degrading about it. There's nothing to be ashamed of. It was again. I mean, and it's funny how you mentioned earlier in the beginning of this interview that you came on set, you were a little shy, and I saw that, and
Yeah.
because you were interviewing with the foreigner, our shooter
Yeah.
at the time, and you know I could tell you were shy, and you loosened up a little bit a couple minutes, like 10 minutes into the scene, and overall it was a really good video. A lot of people loved it, and you looked really good. You did well, and
Thank you.
this is amateur reality porn.
Right.
We have we
Yes.
have we have our stars here and there. We like to mix it up. It's all about Filipinas. Um, so it's not always going to be that busty titty big butt bouncing kind of thing. It's
Right.
real. It's real lovemaking. It's real
Right.
fucking. It's real videos. Average Joes like me and him. So um yeah. um is there anything you want to are you what I'm pretty sure you're not modeling anymore, are you? Because usually I would ask if you would like to put out some links, but yeah, I forgot you're not really in the porn industry. Being a nurse, I don't think you'd be doing that on the side, right?
Yeah. No. No. I like I said, I stopped modeling. I'm a full-time nurse, so I don't think I have time to do all that stuff anymore. Full-time wife.
Yeah, yeah, I agree. But I'm sure it was a good experience, and I'm really happy to hear that it was a good experience, and you're not ashamed of the video, and again, everyone loved it. I loved it. So yeah, it was a success, I'd say, it's really nice to have you because um, I've been able to interview here on the podcast a lot of the talents here in the States. One, it's easy to contact them. Two, connection is never an issue. I think that's one reason why we were able to come in contact with one another is because you being in Canada, myself, I'm here in the States. The internet connection is rather strong compared to like the Philippines because I try to have a couple interviews with
Mm.
some recent models, previous models, I mean, and
Yeah.
it just didn't work because their connection just wasn't all that great. So we were
Yeah,
like
the
1 minute,
internet. Yeah.
yeah, 1 minute into it's like, it's not gonna happen. So
Yeah.
I'm really excited to get this out to the fans, and it's something a little different, you know. So I
Yeah.
know we interviewed Jess Cristal. I mean, I don't know why I'm telling you. I don't know if you really follow us anymore, but Jess Cristal was another Filipina who is still in the Philippines. I was able to interview, and
Mm.
it was a good interview, and she's a great gal. So
Yeah.
yeah, again, really happy you came on here and excited to get this to the fans.
Well, thank you so much for having me.
Oh, again, it is my pleasure, and well, keep in touch if ever you decide to make a porno again. I'm just playing, but yeah, again, thank you for coming on, huh?
All right, thank you so much. You have a good day.
All right, you too. Bye bye.
Bye bye.
Hello, Mary. How are you today?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm doing great. First off, happy holidays, happy New Year's. How's everything going?
Everything's good. So far, so good.
That's great. First off, thank you for coming back here on the podcast, and thank you for staying in touch. As you can see, your first interview has done really great. It's got a lot of good feedback from all the fans, especially within the TP members area. Everyone's just loving it. It's really nice to kind of see something outside of the member section of a model that has shot for us. So I think everyone has really loved that aspect. And of course, just the fact that I always talk about it, the fact that, you shot for us while you were in college at UST, University of Santo Tomas, and you ended up finding a great Canadian guy that brought you to Canada, and now you've been working for a couple years now as a registered nurse in Canada. So, I mean, just a great story. I swear to God, I love the story, and um, everyone is really interested in your life story, to be honest. So, yeah. So, how was your holiday season?
Holiday season. So Christmas Day, I was working as usual because as like right now, COVID's starting to hit again. So Christmas Day I was working. Same thing on the New Year's Eve. New Year's Eve, I spent the night at the hospital because a lot of my coworkers are getting sick too. So they need help. And yeah, that's pretty much it.
That's pretty interesting that you brought that up. And I know, even out here in the States, there's always been a shortage of nurses, and Filipinos being pretty smart. That's what they did was they took advantage of that, and they know that it pays well. So I want to say that might be one reason why there's so many Filipino nurses. Because there's a lot, and it's not even only here in the States. Of course, you're in Canada, but for hell, Canada, U.S., very very similar in many ways, many aspects. Um, but yeah, that's it's pretty cool that you're a nurse. And so how's work been going? How's just life?
Work, it's been busy. Like I said, they've been calling me to go to work because, like shortage of nurses and stuff. And I mean, life is good. I'm right here in Canada. It's really freezing, like
Oh, I
freezing,
bet.
and I'm not used to this kind of weather.
It doesn't matter how long you've been there, huh? It's really hard to get used to.
Yes, it's really hard to get used to. It's like, I mean, I'm from the Philippines, and I this kind of weather is not, the type of weather we have in the Philippines.
Oh
It's
yeah.
really cold, like really, really cold.
Oh yeah. Even I'm sure even in Baguio, they all say it's really cold out there, but nope, it ain't nothing unless you come to like a lot of parts of Canada and hell, even in Northern California, even San Francisco. It's something else. It really hurts you to the bones with how cold it is. I'll tell you that much.
Yes.
So yeah, one of the reasons why I asked you if you could come back here on the podcast, for one, is just everyone's loving your first interview, as I've said just minutes ago. But also, you mentioned that there was some kind of special from GMA 7. Um, what's the name? Atom. Gosh.
Ato Maralio? Ato
Yeah, yeah.
Maralo? Something like
So
that. Yeah.
yeah, so you emailed me. You said, "Hey, you should check this out." There's this special about Salome Salve, who was here on the podcast, and she was featured on TrikePatrol.com twice. And you said, "Well, you might want to check this out." And I said, "Well, why not? You know, Salome Salve has become a good friend, and it would be pretty interesting to see what's going on." And I tried to understand everything, but it was. I mean, I can speak Tagalog. I can hold a conversation, but the Tagalog they were using was pretty deep, as they say, malalim, not
Hmm.
Tagalog, right? I'm
Yeah.
sure you understood everything, but it was kind of interesting when how they brought up Trike Patrol. If I understand right, Salome was reading some nasty messages that she gets online, and somebody said, "I want to taste you," like Trike Patrol did, and I
Yeah.
think that the video was made at your home, something like that. But here's my thoughts. I feel like the producers at GMA made sure to mention Trike Patrol. It's no darn secret who Trike Patrol is, and when it comes to Filipino content, we've been the leaders for 17 years now. And I'm sure they would have loved to talk to TrikePatrol.com for that special because they reached out to so many folks. They reached out to content creators. They reached out to it seems like some chatters, which I
Hmm.
wasn't the biggest fan of because you're pretty much telling everyone that in the Philippines there's some shady kind of business where people are pretending to be others, right?
Right.
And they're pretty much catfishing or whatever, or they're and and the fact that they said that they target lonely Americans. Well, here's the thing. Here's my thoughts on that. Yeah, the U.S. is a great region to target in any industry. Great traffic, converts. But there's a lot of lonely people all over the world. I'll tell you that much. And it's not just Americans. It's just the fact that Americans will convert into money. So that's my thoughts on that. I just thought that that wasn't the best thing I heard about on that documentary because it's not just Americans, folks. If even in other, I'm not going to even say any other countries, but if you did the same exact thing to other countries and you gave individuals the chance to talk to somebody if they're lonely and if they had the money, you would spend it. So that's just my thoughts on that. So, is there anything you watched yourself that you found interesting as well?
No, I mean, I was just watching it and I think about, Trike Patrol. So I was like, let me see if I can email him or, like, because we've been in contact. So I mean, I was like, let me see if he wants to watch it or if he saw it already. So I just like, yeah, I
Yeah,
just
because the
want to
thing
like,
is, I don't really keep up with you know, with GMA or GMA is one of the main channels in the Philippines, correct?
yes, it
Is that
is GMA,
GMA
yes.
7 or something
GMA 7, yes, it's one of the main what do you call that?
channels?
Channels in the
And then
Philippines.
there's yeah, so there's GMA 7 and there's so
ABS,
ABS-C is that channel
CBN.
2?
I think so. I think that's channel 2.
Gotcha. So I mean so how big is this documentary series of Atom Aralu?
I mean, he's pretty big, He's I mean, he has like a series like every Sunday. So he is a pretty big guy. I mean everybody watch him, He's like one of the most famous um
Newscasters or something?
anchor or newscaster, yeah.
I really wish I kept up with what's going on in the Philippines, but again, it's been so long since I've been back, and I'm busy concentrating on Trike Patrol and our own content. I'll tell you that much. So, yeah, but it was pretty interesting. I really enjoyed watching Salome come out, and she's her story is so unique. It is due to the fact that you went to UST, which I want to say is a pretty big university, correct?
Yes, it is.
And now UST is in it's in Manila,
Mm-hmm.
and it's in Sampaloc.
Sampaloc.
Sampaloc. Sampaloc is also the Tagalog of tamarind, correct?
It is, yes.
Gotcha. So I think Sampaloc is near. It's in Manila, but is it near Quezon City or? Well, I think Quezon City and Manila are right next to each other, right?
They
Because
are
you got
next to
Metro
each other.
Manila, yeah.
Yeah.
Because I guess when you could be from, let's say, Mandaluyong, Las Piñas, and pretty much if you're in the province and you say you're going to Manila, you're gonna, I mean, anywhere in Metro Manila, you're just gonna say Manila, right? But
Right.
really, there's Metro Manila, there's actual Manila, there's Quezon City,
Quezon
and
City.
then within Quezon City, there's gonna be places like La Loma,
Mm-hmm.
Camachile, Balintawak.
Right.
If I'm because I went to school out in Manila, to be honest, but I
Oh,
didn't
you did?
really. Oh yeah, yeah. Long story short, I pretty much just went out there for some school,
Mm-hmm.
and had a shitload of fun. I'll tell you that. It's so. I want to ask, how can you compare your experiences during the holiday season out here in Northern America, or for argument's sake, in Canada? How can you compare it to the holiday season in the Philippines?
Over here, it's like, like I mentioned, me and my husband went to his side. It was like a regular thing, but in
Just
the
kick back
Philippines,
and just
yeah,
maybe
just
some
kick back,
cheese
just
platter and some
watch.
wine and
Yes. Yep,
I, I
exactly.
trust
That's
I
what it
know.
is.
And that it's a time to relax, I guess. And show you just be with your loved ones, I guess. And of course, you're not gonna have out here in America, an American household freaking buying a whole lechon, right? I mean,
Hmm.
hey, but if a charcuterie platter, like if you put you could buy some nice cheeses, some nice prosciutto, some nice olives, shit's really good. I'll tell you that much. Have you ever been able? I mean, have you tried any of that good stuff?
Oh yeah, I mean, at first I didn't like it. Cheese is not my thing. But then, like, my
Uh,
husband was like, "Well, you should try it." And so when I tried it, I'm like, "Oh, okay, this is good." It's cheese, and it goes with wine, any kind of wine. Red wine, white wine,
yeah.
any kind of wine. So it was good.
Now, I'm pretty sure you grew up on Eden cheese, right?
Yes, eating cheese is my thing.
Yeah. So out of all, like, I'm just curious. I really like to hear when Filipinos migrate to the U.S. and just their experiences. So out of like all the cheeses, because I swear to God, out here we have like a Trader Joe's, or we have a lot of nice higher end stores. Now you could buy. There's 100 different cheeses, right? So
Yes.
what kind of cheese have you tried that you really liked?
Brie. I like
Oh, brie.
brie
Okay,
with
nice
yeah, I
creamy
like
brie.
brie with honey on top.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah.
It's interesting that you know that kind of cheese.
Yeah, my husband's the one who he's the one who mentioned about it, and I said, "Okay, let me just try it." Like I said, I'm not a big fan of cheese. I mean, eating cheese, Filipino cheese is the only cheese that I've eaten, but brie is it's a good one, I like it.
Yeah, you can spend top dollar on some cheeses out here. I'll tell you that much too. And
Yes.
some nice Italian cuts. There's I don't know if you ever had like thinly sliced prosciutto. The reason why prosciutto is thinly sliced because first of all, it's so damn expensive. It's so strong, so salty. You don't need a thick slice of prosciutto. I don't know if you guys do that out in Canada, but I'm pretty sure it's more big on the East Coast. There's Copa. There's so many great things out here. But I'm sure you miss Filipino food, right?
Oh yes, I miss Filipino food, and I miss, I was born there, so I'm like used to having, like in the Philippines, if it's like a holiday like Christmas Day, New Year's Day, it's more fun in the Philippines. Everybody's outside, everybody's like gathering and
Oh yeah, I totally see what you're saying because life out here in the States, or I'm sure even Canada, people tend to keep to themselves a little more.
exactly.
Um, in
Yes.
the Philippines, I've experienced a holiday in the province, and I swear to God, there's just fireworks going off everywhere.
Yes,
Everyone's just damn happy.
uh-huh, and I miss those, you go outside, there's fireworks everywhere, everybody's like happy and Merry Christmas, there's a lot of kids that be singing, caroling stuff.
Well, I've
It's
talked about
fun.
that. Yeah, the caroling and all that. It's like sometimes though, because I know in the Philippines they'll start preparing for Christmas on September 1st, 100 days
September.
before, and it's
Yes.
like on September 1st you already got these kids caroling in front of your house, and it's like, God
Yes.
damn it, it's a little too early, kids. So give them money so they'll go away.
Yes, yes. But I
But I'll
mean,
tell you
it's
this.
it's more fun in the Philippines. Holidays like Christmas and New Year's, it's more fun in the Philippines than over here. Over here, you just kind of stay in your house or go to a friend's house, but it's not the same as in the Philippines.
Well, I guess it really depends on your situation in life. If your family's all out here, then I mean, I'm pretty sure it'd be a little better to stay out here. If you
Mm.
left a lot of family in the Philippines, it would be nice to go out there for the holidays. But it's like Jesus Christ. I know I was talking about this months ago, earlier this 2022 with like Astro Domina
Mhm.
about airfares. It's like if you took the chance, because the thing is they had the so many requirements, and I don't know about now if you still got to show a negative COVID result of a test, but
Yeah, I'm not sure.
there was times where early 2022 where you could buy tickets for like 500-600, but you just didn't know what was going to happen.
Right.
They could cut off travel. I know starting in a couple days they're going to start requiring all travelers from China to provide a negative test.
Mhm.
So not to get into that because I mean I don't personally know what to think of COVID anymore. All I can hope is that everyone stays safe and healthy
Yeah.
and enjoy life. It's a new year. Honestly, I think this is going to be a great interview for everyone to enjoy to start off this new year. And it's always nice to hear from you.
Well, thank you so much. Thank you for having me, and thank you for, always, you know, um,
Responding to your emails.
yes.
I feel like
I
sometimes you're
mean,
bored at work or something.
well, sometimes, yeah, but when I'm on my break, I always check my email and see what's there. But then, thank you for always, emailing me,
And it's really cool that your husband allows you to speak to, I mean, I'm pretty
Yeah, I
sure a
mean,
lot of,
I already talked to him about it, so and then he said it's fine, it's just a phone call and stuff like that, so it's
yeah,
it's
yeah.
okay with
Now,
him.
is he a fan of Trike Patrol? If you don't mind me asking.
Well, yeah, I mean, I was on the site, so yes, he is a big fan.
Well, let me tell you this: if he has yet to sign up at TrikePatrol.com, send me over his email, and I'll get him a membership, a 1 year membership, or hell, I don't care, whatever he wants. For being so supportive, allowing you to come here on the podcast, and I just can't wait to release this to everyone. It's always nice to hear from you, and just a great story, great story.
Well, thank you for having me. I hope you're having a nice New Year. I hope you had a good time with your family and your friends on holidays.
Oh yeah, here at TrikePatrol.com, it's all nothing but fun. I'll tell you that much. Now, uh, please don't take this the wrong way. Would you ever be interested in shooting for us again?
Ooh, but I don't know. I mean,
Okay, that was a joke. That was a joke. Please, I'm
yeah,
messing with you. I'm messing with you. But
I know, I know.
it'd be pretty cool. I mean, if ever you're interested, I mean, we can make it happen.
No, I don't know. I don't know about that.
I mean,
Like I said, I'm a full-time nurse, and I don't really have time to do all that stuff now. So,
yeah, I totally understand. Well, again, send over your hubby's email, and we'll get him a free login, a free
oh yeah,
membership at
sure, yeah,
TrikePatrol.com. Show our
yeah.
appreciation
I'll
for allowing you to come on the podcast multiple times, and just to keep in contact. It's been pretty cool. I'll tell you that much.
Yeah, I'll email you his address so you
All
can
right.
get free
Well,
stuff.
yeah. Well, if you find them, missing for a couple hours each day, don't
I
blame me.
know
I'll tell
where
you that
he's at.
much.
Oh no, I'll
Yeah.
email you right away and call you and be like,
Tell 'em,
yeah.
yeah. Take away that membership. Well, anyways, I wish you the best. Again, I hope your holidays were great, and I look forward to talking to you in the future.
Yep. Thank you so much. You too.
All right. Take care now.
You too. Bye bye.
Bye bye. Hello, Trike Patrol fans. Once again, we are back. Thank you for tuning into the official Trike Patrol podcast, and it's your host, Mr. C. So today, we have a very special guest once again. So I've been talking about this, and I started to get a little scared that it's not going to happen. Well, I have Mary Escanilla right here with me here in LA. She paid me a visit from Vancouver, Canada, and honestly, so during my recent Vegas trip, I actually had her tag along. We're going to get into the whole story, why she joined me. We all know that she was married to the Canadian guy that brought her over from the Philippines, which gave her a bright future as she was able to become a nurse in Canada. But before we get into today's podcast special or interview, let's talk a little bit about what's happening here at the TP headquarters. So, just yesterday we dropped the final Pinay Eats episode with the beautiful Dakota Quinn. So, great episode. I had a lot of fun, and I'm planning another trip in the near future. I don't want to get too much into that. You never know. Things get postponed. Things get canceled. But as of right now, I do have another Vegas trip coming up in October. Oh, well, it is October. So, this Friday, we have another epic scene with Thor Johnson. As you guys know, his first ever TP scene was with Salome Salve, which everyone's enjoying. I mean, you just can't go wrong with two great talents such as Salome Salve and Thor Johnson. So please check it out if you guys haven't. I mean, I'm enjoying it myself. I was very proud to publish it, to announce it on social media. Just a great scene. Thor Johnson, great guy, great performer. So just yesterday, the final Pinay. Oh, I just mentioned that with Dakota Quinn, didn't I, Mary?
Yes, you did.
So let's get in today's podcast interview. So, how are you, Mary?
I'm doing good. How are you?
Oh, doing great. I mean, it's such an honor because ever since our first interview and second interview, I mean, you have become a well-known model over at TrikePatrol.com. I mean, people love your story. People love your interviews. And just, again, a great story. And so I just want to mention, I don't want people to think, I flew you into Vegas. I flew you here to LA. I don't want people to think that I'm over here home wrecking, So do you mind sharing the story of why you were able to visit me in Vegas, spend time with me, and why you're here in LA with me right now? And I want to mention your husband, or now ex-husband, isn't here. So do you mind sharing the story?
Yeah, so like Mr. C said, I was married to a Canadian guy. He brought me here. He brought me to Canada, gave me a good life, and then I became a nurse. But then I noticed that he kept going back to the Philippines. And then
let me interrupt you real quick. So, I mean, honestly, I've been married before, and I was making trips to the Philippines, and I'm not going to get too much into it. Why I was making trips to the Philippines, I can make excuses, but at the end of the day, for argument's sake, I was going there for fun. So, did he ever tell you why he was going to the Philippines?
He didn't tell me why. There's no reason.
He literally just would get up and go to the Philippines? Or, I mean, was he telling you that he's planning to go to the Philippines?
I mean, he will tell me, oh, I'm gonna go to the Philippines, but, like, he doesn't tell me why. Like, me as your wife or your ex-wife.
Now
you
ex-wife.
should,
Or
yeah.
it's still in the process, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
You should at least tell me or let me know why you keep going back to the Philippines.
I mean, that's kind of... I would think so. I mean, your spouse is going to a different country. I would hope there's an explanation behind it, right?
Yeah, well, he did not tell me there's no... He'll just say, oh, I book a flight to the Philippines and I'll be there for like a month.
I mean,
does he have? I mean, obviously he doesn't have family there because he's Canadian. But would he visit? Like, so when he would go out to the Philippines, was he visit? Was he used to have family in the Philippines? If you don't mind me
I
asking.
do. Yeah.
So, and they're in Manila, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so would he visit your family and like at least show his face, or was he just kind of like going there as a ghost and just kind of doing his own thing, or was he visiting like? So, I mean, if you don't mind me asking, do you still have parents in the Philippines and siblings, and what kind of family do you have out there?
My brothers and sisters are still in the Philippines.
Okay, and would he visit them while in Manila?
Well, every time I talk to my family members, they'll say, "Oh no, he never comes here or he never visit us."
Okay, well, let me tell you straight up. Like, I've been in that situation, and I would purposely, my now ex-wife, I would pay visit to to her side of the family, just show a little respect and not make things too obvious what I was doing in the Philippines, because I mean I was, like I said, I was going out there to have a lot of fun. So I mean, how many trips did he make before you realized what was going on?
At least 3-4 times.
Jesus Christ. And when did you finally realize? I mean, I'm sure you had a feeling after the first trip, right?
Yeah, but I didn't think I wasn't thinking about that. I thought he was there to, like vacation, relax.
Vacation without the wife. I mean, Jesus Christ. It's very interesting because, I mean, I would think that, I understand you guys don't have kids, obviously. I know, I've spoke to your husband many times. He's actually a fan of TrikePatrol.com. And, well, he just hit me up like a couple months ago. It's funny. He said, "Hey, Mr. C, you mind renewing that free membership you gave me?" I said, "Yeah, of course, dude. Like, why not? You're married to Mary Escanilla, and you allowed her to come here on the podcast. So at least I can do. Sure, here's another 6 months." But nice guy. But he's so. Do you know what the word monger is?
Not quite.
Well, let's, for argument's sake, that's kind of our theme here at Globetrotters. Monger. We're mongers. We go to Asia. We go wherever in the world to have fun. That's all I'm gonna say. And he's a monger. So, like, I'm sure he would go out to like Angeles City, Makati, Cebu City, the hot spots where you can find, easy Filipinas, right? I mean, so if you don't mind sharing, let's fast forward a little bit. How did you find out that he was living La Vida Loca in the Philippines?
Well, I was going through his phone, and I noticed that he downloaded this Western Union app, and then I was able to log in. And then I was able to see what transaction that he's doing, and then I noticed that he was sending money to this girl. And then that's when I told him, I said, that's when I asked him, I said, "Why are you sending money to this girl and you don't even know her?"
I mean, he can't say that it's his cousin, or because obviously Canadians.
Obviously.
I mean,
Yes.
For Filipino Americans or like balikbayans, they could come home and say, "Well, that's my cousin." They could. There's ways to bullshit out of it, but obviously in your ex-husband's situation, it's very hard. So, what was his response?
He didn't say anything. He just ignored me, and I said, "Okay, well, I'm not gonna put up with this." And so I told him, I said, "So let's just get a divorce. If you want to go to the Philippines, you want to keep going back to the Philippines, then if you're happy there, then let's just get a divorce." Because
that's a very interesting mentality of Filipinos. I want to say, if this was if you were both, let's say Americans or whites, it'd be like, I would think that there would be a chance of talking it out. I want to say it's the divorce rate is a lot higher in out here in the States. Of course, we don't have divorce in the Philippines quite yet. I know there's annulments, but anyways, white folks, maybe even black folks, or just Americans in general, will try to work things out, seek counseling, waste money on counseling. But then today, you kind of realize, I think you realize when it's a done deal, right? So, did you guys give it a try? Did you guys try to work things out? Or, I mean, I understand. It would be a different situation if he was the breadwinner. I'm sure he was, and maybe he still is. But, you were able to get a decent job. I'm sure you were making well over $100,000 in Vancouver. I don't know what the cost of living is like, but I'm sure, you're not going to be living on the streets, obviously. You have an actual career that pays pretty good. So I mean, so what did he say? Where did you guys end up like splitting up? Did he sleep on the couch? Did you move out? What happened?
No, I actually looked for an apartment, and then I found my own place, and then he's still living in his, well, it used to be our house, but now he's living there. I have my own place now.
I'm curious. What's is it a 1-2 bedroom in Vancouver?
Just a one bedroom. It's just me myself, anyways.
I'm curious. In Canadian, you guys use Canadian dollars. How much per month?
About 2,000.
Jesus Christ, 2,000. So I have to do the math, but from my understanding, the U.S. dollar and Canadian dollar are pretty much almost equal. I know the USD is a little stronger or a little higher, but anyways, 2,000. That's just, and I know I've been to Vancouver many times, and it is expensive. Are you actually in downtown Vancouver?
Yes.
Oh, interesting. Because like I said many times, I've been to Vancouver. I've been to like Coquitlam or something. It's a gorgeous town. I mean, I want to say people in Vancouver are just super nice, dude. Like, and it's super clean, except for like when I went to Chinatown, it was a little dirtier. A lot of downtown Vancouver was really nice. Like where the Canucks play. That place, I never felt scared or that I was never worried when I was in downtown. Of course, I was there in the daytime, but. Yeah, thank you for sharing. That's very interesting. So, as I've mentioned, I've become decent friends with your ex-husband. I'm not going to say his name, of course, but I did mention him, like, hey, buddy, like, I've been chatting with Mary, and I'm going to Vegas, and which was my recent Vegas trip, and I asked him, hey, do you mind if, like, I take Mary, if I fly Mary out there? He said, he seems happy with his situation now. Obviously, I'm pretty sure he's not going to be able to bring his new girlfriend out here or out there to Canada right away because obviously he's still married legally. It's such an interesting story. But, I mean, are you happy?
I am happy.
Yeah, I mean, you were able to join me in Vegas and you were able to meet a bunch of stars such as Jada Kai, Carmen Valentina, Dakota Quinn. How was that experience? I mean, that was your first time in Vegas, right?
That was my first time in Vegas, and I had so much fun. It was fun hanging out with Mr. C.
Yeah, well, I mean, I'm sorry it was mostly work, but as you know, during after the first night we both arrived, we were up until like 1 o'clock with Carmen Valentina and our cameraman, just chit chatting, having a good time, and we didn't really do much that first night. Hopefully one day I can bring you back to Vegas. It's only like 5 hours from here in Sherman Oaks. So, I mean, yeah, right after this podcast interview, we could literally drive out to Vegas. It wouldn't be much of a drive, but, so what was your first impression of Vegas?
Vegas is, like I said, it's my first time, so I didn't know that you can drink from early in the morning till 2 o'clock in the morning.
I mean, anywhere in the world, people could do that. Not to say that I wasn't doing that, right? Because obviously I was working, so come on now.
Yeah, so, but other people were like drinking and then a lot of gambling. It was I had a lot of fun. It was so much fun. I want to go back again.
Well, I already booked my flight for the 16th, 17th of this month to do a couple more Pinay Eats, and I know you've been taking a lot of time off from work. I don't know how it works in Canada. If there's such things called PTO. I mean, that sounds stupid. I just don't know how it works in Canada. Do you have any like PTO accumulated? Are you still working? You're still working, correct?
I'm still working. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. So I mean, hey, if you want to fly out to Vegas, I'll take care of your airfare. That's not a problem. And I do want to mention, we wanted to do a Pinay Eats with you, but you want to talk a little bit about how your recent interviews and your TP scene kind of made some noise at your workplace. You remember you were telling me like you work with a lot of Filipinos, correct?
Yep.
And one of your fellow nurses came up to you and asked you about if you were in a video, correct?
Yeah. Yes.
So is there like the whole chismis thing going on, the whole gossip thing, or like you were telling me one day you walked in and everyone was kind of looking at you?
Yeah, everybody was looking at me like weird looking, but then I try to ignore them.
Did you figure what was the reason why this was? I think because I remember we did the first couple interviews and it got some good views and people loved it. Again, people just loved your story and they loved your interview. I mean, I'm sorry if I made you feel uncomfortable at your workplace from bringing you back on the podcast, or I'm sorry, on the YouTube channel, podcast channel. But I mean, overall, were you okay with it?
Yeah, it was fine. It was fine with me.
I mean, I would say, why are you guys watching this kind of content, right? Like if you guys found it, then it's your guys' fault. I mean, you guys are the nasty ones for, not that it's
Watching it.
nasty, but you're the ones, being hypocrites if you guys have something bad to say about it, right?
Yeah.
And by law, I don't think HR in your workplace can do anything about it. It's, you're not promoting it in your workplace. You didn't bring it up to anyone. And if they tried to do anything to you, I'm pretty sure you would have a nice case and you get a lawyer and make a lot of money. I'll tell you that. That's how it works out here in the West. If you get fucked over in the workplace for the wrong reasons, hey, there's a lot of money to be made.
Right.
So, what was the best part about your experience in Vegas?
Staying up late, which I don't usually do because I always work on night shift, so that means I'm working at night and
Knock shift is a graveyard.
graveyard.
Is that,
Yes,
yeah.
graveyard. So that means I'm sleeping during the daytime. So in Vegas, staying up late like that, it's like really fun.
And the problem is, I really wanted to take you to like Fremont Street, which is, I understand you're not from Angeles City, which a lot of our models are from. You're actually from Manila, back home in the Philippines. But Fremont Street, it's just a street where there's a bunch of bars and people are just walking. There's entertainers. It's a lot of fun. Too bad I couldn't bring you there. I was able to bring you around the strip a little bit. Did you like the whole water show at the Bellagio?
Yeah, that one, I like that one, the water show.
Yeah, and again, I was kind of busy working, so I wasn't able to show you too much. But it was like, how can you compare your experience on set with TP back in the days? This was what, 7-8 years ago. Like, so you arrived on set in the Philippines, right, with our shooter at the time, Aussie guy. Like, could you compare that to the whole when you saw the models arrive and our cameraman? I mean, kind of the same concept, right?
It is, yeah.
Yeah. And I know you kind of just were pretty quiet, just watching me do my thing with the models, and
Yeah.
But I'm pretty sure it brought back a little memories, right? Of
Yeah,
your whole
it sure
experience.
does, yes.
Had to turn off the AC, and we're kind of roasting in there. Just make sure we're not catching the sound of the air conditioner on the camera, right?
Yep.
So here in LA, again, thank you for joining me here in LA. What are some things you want to do?
I wanna go to the Hollywood sign.
Go to the Hollywood sign.
Yes.
We can do that. It's about, it's here in the valley, so I would say where we're at right now, probably 10 minutes. So I'm pretty sure you would take some pictures. I'm sure you on Facebook, like every other Filipino. So that'd be something nice to post. I would love to take you to the Walk of Fame. I think we're both a little too old to be going to Disneyland. I do want to mention, although we're just friends, I'm not taking advantage of your situation, that you're going through a divorce, and I'm over here trying to, save up Pinay or whatever. That's not the situation. We've become really good friends, again, so I want to thank you for coming here to LA, to California. So what else would you like to see here in the States? It's, you came from, so far, what would you say? Can you compare Canada to the U.S. a lot? Like, do they have similarities? Other than that, there's just more white people. Compared to the Philippines, of course, right?
Well, compared to the Philippines, no. I mean, Canada, I like it there. It looks nicer than here in LA.
A little cleaner, right?
Cleaner, yeah. Cleaner than LA. There's not a lot of homeless people that be walking around at night.
I saw a lot in Vancouver, but that was more like Chinatown where I saw it. But it's nothing compared. Like, I would love to take you to the Bay Area. So obviously the only places you have visit in California is LA, right?
LA, yes.
Yeah, and then Vegas, which is of course Nevada. But
I would love to go to Bay Area.
Bay Area,
San Francisco.
Oh yeah, that's the Bay. Yeah, that's the Bay Area. I want to say It's all right. I've lived there for many years. I'm kind of pissed at the Bay Area because I'm a big baseball fan, and I think you remember I was talking about the A's with Carmen Valentino. Do you remember? And I was talking about a name you probably never heard of, Jose Canseco.
Yeah.
He should be a Hall of Famer if you ask me. But anyways, they recently played their last game in Oakland, so there goes that. But other than that, there's a lot of good food in the Bay Area, a lot of traffic. If you like traffic, that's the place to go.
Oh, no, I don't like traffic. I hate traffic. That's why in Canada we do take the train or...
Well, public transportation...
Public transportation, yes.
I want to say here in the States, I mean, you came from the Philippines, so public transportation is way better in the Philippines. You could take... So, like, if you got somewhere to go, you could literally take a bus if it's a little more on the longer side of distance, and then you can hop on a jeepney that will take you mid-sized distance, and then after that you just take a tricycle. There's always a way to get around in the Philippines. You can live without a car in the Philippines. In the States, nope. Good luck, because public transportation is terrible out here in the States. I don't know about other places. The Bay Area, terrible, but I mean, if you want to Uber everywhere, but I'm sure, I'm sure at the end of the day, Ubering everywhere is going to be a lot more expensive. But yeah, like you said, the train system in Vancouver is actually pretty nice. So, overall, how have you been since our last interview? I mean, like I said, our fans have been loving your interviews. They really appreciate that you came here on the podcast, which I'm very thankful for myself. I'm sure I speak for everyone here at the TP headquarters. So, other than the fact that you're going through a divorce, I mean, how is everything going?
Everything is going so far so good. I mean, I'm still working as a nurse. I'm trying to keep myself busy. Yeah, everything's good so far.
Yeah, I mean, are you enjoying your recent trips to Vegas and
yes.
to LA? It's cool that you're traveling. Do you have any plans of going back to the Philippines?
As of right now, no. I don't have a plan going back there yet.
Yeah.
But maybe in the future.
I do want to say, if you plan to go back to the Philippines, I want to mention to our listeners, because a lot of people have actually booked during the times that I have said book. So the best times to go is starting January, right after the holidays, up until about April, May. And then you want to just pretty much, for argument's sake, avoid the summer. Unless you have kids, obviously, and you want to take everyone back to the Philippines, and avoid the holidays. Holidays in summer, other than that. But right now, like, probably the cheapest airfare you can get during the non-peak season is about $600, maybe $700, I think it was. I think it's EVA Airlines, which I always brag about. I love that airline. Great, quick a layover in Taipei. Then it's like 4 hours from Taipei to the Philippines. But other than that, EVA Air is great. I never liked Philippine Airlines. They always overcharge just through the fact that it's direct. But again, it's direct, but you're still gonna have a quick stop in either Honolulu or Guam if you're coming from the West Coast just to get fuel. So, is there anything you want to tell our listeners? Like I said, you've become very popular, and a lot of people are going to appreciate this interview. So again, I think I speak for everyone. Thank you so much for spending time and actually coming here to LA. I think we're going to have a lot of fun for the next couple of days. I've taken time off from work just to kind of bring you around and do a little sightseeing.
Yeah, well, thank you for always having me, and I'm having fun, hanging out with you, and I appreciate that you're taking your time off because I'm here in LA.
Well, that's how we do it here at TrikePatrol.com. We take care of our Pinays, and again, you've done a couple interviews for us, and again, our fans have appreciated it. So the only way to repay you is to show you a good time out here in California. So that's how we do it.
Yeah, and I'm actually having really fun.
All right, well, everyone, thank you for listening. I know there's a lot of you guys that are going to be really excited to hear this. I know a lot of you guys enjoyed this. Ever since our first and second interview, everyone's been loving Mary Escanilla. So again, thank you for tuning into the official Trike Patrol podcast. And it's your host, Mr. C.